This Hangout on Air is live. That's what it tells me when I'm doing stuff. So that's what we've got. Welcome to another episode of Retro Roleplaying for anybody who's actually watching. I am Nicholas Skinner, the co-founder of Skinner Games. We have. That's what it tells me when I'm doing stuff. Whoa! So and I've got something playing in my ear. Hold on. I forget that I have the YouTube channel running side by side. It's because I have the live chat and it speaks in my ear, and it totally confused me because it's super easily done anymore. Anyway, welcome to the game tonight. We will be playing Basic Fantasy. For those who haven't heard of it, it is an old school Renaissance game based off of obviously Dungeons and Dragons, which is most of what the OSR stuff is. This is the 3rd edition of the game that we'll be playing. This book, I think, is like $5 on Amazon or something. The system itself is fantastic. It is just a really good and simple version of Dungeons and Dragons. It's got some variable rules. The website offers some awesome, cool, free stuff to expand on your adventures. So far, we only have one of our players here. His wife will be joining him eventually. We should theoretically have 2 more players show up. So until then, I think we should kind of talk about the system a little bit more. I gave a 5-minute review on it. If you guys check our YouTube channel, you will find some other stuff on what we've been talking about, but I can talk about it a little bit more. Pardon me. So, as I was saying, the game is just straight up old school. So the book itself is really simple. It's got some pretty interesting illustrations, very, very old school, reminiscent. What I really like about this game, aside from it just being a really good old school style game, is it's really, really simple, hence it being called Basic. Let's go this way, Basic Fantasy. So it's a really easy game to get. It takes the mechanics that we all know from any of the other versions, 3.5, 5th edition, whatever, and breaks it all down to something that's horrendously simple. Super simple. You don't have really complicated classes at all. The fighter does pretty much nothing but get hit dice and to hit scores. And everybody is just really simplified, and it's really broken down. So if you're going to introduce role-playing into a group of new players, and you don't necessarily want to jump them into something that's really heavy rules like Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition, 3.5 if you're still playing that, or even with the new 5th edition rules, as simple as they are, it's far more complicated than Basic Fantasy, which is just a good style old role-playing game where it's more about the story playing rather than the game playing. There are rules for whatever you want. To be honest, you get rules for wilderness adventures and things like that, and it also gives you a good bestiary in the back. So you've got your whole setup. You've got everything you need for your characters, everything you need for your game master, and all of your monsters. What's really amazing about this, however, is the community involvement. I know that in some of the other games that have come out recently, like 5th edition, for example, you have the Dungeon Masters Guild, which they opened up, and anybody can publish whatever they want. Basic Fantasy has something similar. They have a really active and vibrant community where you can post to the message boards, and if it's something that the creators like, then it kind of upscales through the message boards, and it can eventually become a published product. There are a number of books like this, like the Adventure Anthology one has a bunch of community adventures that have been published into a book. This is also very good and very cheap. One thing I love about the book, also, I keep saying one thing I love, there's loads of things I love, is that they're all cheap. They're really good volumes. You get them printed. You can find them on Amazon. I have them linked in the 5-minute review. But this is expanded creatures. Everything is cheap. As you can get this, all 3 of these books, I think it was under $12 or $15 off of Amazon. That's expanded monsters and adventure options and the core book and everything for way less than a 5th edition book. So if you want to have a nice, good game that you can have to play for fun on a rainy day, or even to kind of interrupt your 5th edition slog, Basic Fantasy is definitely worth a look. And all of the PDFs off their website are free. You don't have to pay for anything, so you can play this game totally free. which is also something that's really amazing. But if you have to have the hard copies like I did, they're also very, very cheap. So it's a great game, very cheap, and I was hoping somebody else would sign on by now so that I could stop talking, but that didn't happen. So Tim, why don't you kind of describe to us what you're doing with the books right now so that we can fill up some more space until other people get here, and I'll try and talk to people and see what the heck they're doing.
So right now I'm looking up saving throw tables for my wife's character. She has yet to choose a race, which will factor in different bonuses based on what she has.
And so what do you mean by the table? Describe to us what it is.
What?
Describe to us the tables. Like, what do you mean saving throw tables? It's a little different than like 5th edition, for example, which is what's popular and a lot of people are playing now, which is the only reason why I keep bringing it up. And they do not have tables.
Yeah, so this one, there's 5 different saving throws: Death Ray or Poison, Magic Wands, Paralysis, Petrify, Dragon Breath, and Spells. So 5 different groups. And depending on your class, you get certain values to each of those 5 saving throws and bonuses depending on your race, unless you're human. Humans get nothing.
Yeah, humans get nothing.
Yeah. They're nothing special. So,
no, but they don't have any hindrances either.
Yeah, I'm finishing making her character because it's been a very crazy week. So, depending on which race she ends up choosing to play, will have an impact on the final totals for these saving throw values. Which is mostly why I go with the fighter, because I like to be a little bit more high-powered with my characters.
Right.
And I also like to just run in without thinking. It's made things very, very interesting in the past.
Yeah, there's been some entertaining moments for sure. Nolan! Thankfully, somebody else showed up.
Hey, Nolan.
So that makes you and Tim so far. Lydia will be joining us in a bit, and I'm talking to Zach to see what he's doing, and Joe will not be here tonight.
Yeah, she probably fell asleep putting her kids to bed.
It's okay. I would fall asleep now too.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I did fall asleep.
I'm jealous. I need some serious nappage. So, Nolan, what are you playing?
I am playing a thief.
Thief.
Excellent.
Good, because our normal thief isn't here.
I rolled terrible stats, so... My stats were awesome, except for my charisma roll, but my wife's charisma roll was actually very, very bad.
Yeah, 5.
Is that a real life comment or a character comment? Okay, the worst charisma roll I heard of ever for a D20 based system was a dwarf whose charisma was 3. The lowest it can be. And half the time you talk to people, they get into random fights just because of how ugly he was.
Yeah, that definitely causes some problems.
And you know, whenever you suffer like an ability score attack that reduces everything, he was usually the first one to drop if they got hit with like a charisma drain or something.
Yeah, I bet. So Nolan, what is your character's name?
Didn't come up with one.
I have a list. Do you want me to just rattle off a bunch?
Sure.
Do you have? Are you playing a specific race?
Human.
Human. You have to be boring. Okay. Do we want to go with Anglo-Saxon?
Sure.
Okay, we have Klappa. No, that's not. That is Scandinavian. Wilfred. I think that one actually is. Let's see. We have Beoka. There is Osbert is another good one.
Osbert. I dig it. Osbert.
All right, let's go with that.
You could go, you could say Athelwald.
You could. Well, yes. Wait.
I've been watching a lot
Yes.
of The Last Kingdom on Netflix.
No, have you?
A lot of Saxon names.
Ethelred the Unready or whatever.
Ethelred the Unready. Yeah. Ethelfled is the girl's name.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird. Watching The Last Kingdom, they have two characters that are each named that, and it's very difficult to keep track of who's who because they keep switching back and forth between them. Yeah, it's a good show. If you guys out there watching don't know it, it's on Netflix. It's about the Danish invasion of the British Isles in the 8th and 9th century.
Mm.
And it deals with a fictitious character. It's written by Bernard Cornwall. The fantasy
cool
series.
stuff.
It's like Game of Thrones, but actually set on Earth instead of in the world of Game of Thrones. So no magic, but lots and lots of really cool stuff.
Oh, it's pretty slick historical fiction. I've always liked the author, whose name, yeah.
That guy, that one guy.
Yeah, man.
I liked it. I wasn't too sure how I'd like it at first, but I actually grew to like it pretty
I
quick.
think he's got one around the Crusade of Richard, also, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I took a look at his bibliography a little bit ago, and it's impressive. Like he gets lauded for all the research he puts into doing his books.
Yeah, no, he does great work. I've read a number of his stuff. I don't own them currently, but I've read quite a few. It's good stuff. Sort of like I can't remember her name either. Man, I can't remember anybody's name tonight. The Cadfael stuff. It's medieval murder mysteries. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I used to watch that with my parents when I was in high school.
Oh yeah, I forgot. BBC made a series or something, didn't they?
Yeah, it was good. The fun part was sitting around and we all took turns guessing who the guilty party was.
Yeah.
That's always fun. My mom was always right. Every one of those shows, it's usually like the first person. It's the first friendly face that they talk to for suspects toward the beginning of the episode, usually the guilty party.
Nice.
Like almost always.
I know I haven't actually watched it, but the books were good. They start out kind of slow, but I think they end pretty well. But
yeah,
that's me. Okay, so Zach won't be here tonight. He just sent me a message, or at least not for another hour. He said he's still at work for a bit. So whenever Lydia gets here, I guess we can start, or we can sort of start anyway, more or less. We do it in an interesting way, I suppose. Since Nolan hasn't actually played in the larger campaign yet, I don't think. With the 5th level characters, we've only ever done the one-shots. His character needs to be introduced. You guys, we can do a quick recap of what we've been doing so far. So, these characters exist in a world that we have called quests, which is just dropping the T off of quest, to make it simple. And they were escorting a caravan to a large city, one of the largest cities on the continent. Let me find the name of it real quick. Not that one. I believe it was... Is it Arnak? Or is it Antiod? One of these two. I believe it was Arnak. Yep, that is. Okay, so you're in Arnak, and you're escorting this caravan. And Arnak is a very big city. It's a very old city. It is built on top of itself. It used to be in the middle of this ravine, but it is now shooting straight into the sky because every layer of the city is kind of built on top of itself. And there are these massive gates that you guys walked through when you got there. And when you did get there, one of your characters began seeing red letters on everything that was yellow in a language he did not understand. Another character was slipped an item, a dragon's tooth necklace that had similar characters as to the ones that one of the characters, Hamilcar, who is a wolfkin, which is a kind of sentient wolf being, he held similar words and came across some assassins, actually. And when they defeated one of them who had a red mask on, when they took the mask off, the assassin had no face, and eventually they were led down to the Undercity, where they met one of the other characters, who was Remy, and he took them to a casino to figure out what they could do if there was a number of warring factions or whatever, to see if they could do some research. They started a massive fight inside of the area, and the presumed owner or one of his henchmen came out, used a silence spell on everyone in the whole place so that everybody could have their attention on him, and escorted our party to the rear of the establishment. And that is where we left off. So I guess we can get started, and let's begin using basic fantasy to play in the Land of Quests. So you guys have been led into the back room, and the doors kind of slowly close behind you. They don't slam shut, but it's this nice creaking, very dramatic closing. You see the light behind you kind of wink out, and the noise from the fighting that you had done kind of dies down a little bit more. The silence spell had lifted, and people started kind of chattering and accusing you guys of many things, and shouting many expletives in your direction as you were escorted to the rear of the casino. The man that has followed you, or the man that rather preceded you, is tall. His hair is kept neatly clipped. He holds on very well-maintained robes that hang loose around his feet. You can't see any other kind of distinguishing mark on him. He's very clean cut, and he's very well kept, but he doesn't seem to have any tattoos of any kind, nothing to really kind of tell you what he is about. The guards with him, on the other hand, are just full of crap. And can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, my image froze for a bit. Anyway, so the guards on him have many tattoos of many things to mark them from what they are, or if they belong to any gangs or anything like that. So, hold on, I just got a message from one of our other players. Bummer. Alright, well, he may not join us tonight. Looks like a sewer, or no, did you say sewer? He just said a pipe started leaking in his office building, so
Nuts.
he has to stay.
Well, give me a minute. Let me see if I can get my wife out here.
Right.
Be right back.
Okay, cool. Let me get my thoughts together a little bit more on what I was doing tonight. So, Nolan, what was your experience with making a character for Basic Fantasy?
Kind of confused.
Oh.
Yeah, the save throws are like in a different section than character creation.
Yeah.
I couldn't find actually the attack bonus progression anywhere.
Yes. Tim also had problems with that. It is on page... Oops, I put that on the wrong. I think it was 46. Hang on, let's see if I can find it again. 46. You are a thief, level 5 thief, and that makes your attack bonus +3.
Better than I thought.
Yeah. So that is one thing that kind of bothers me about Basic Fantasy, is the organization is different than I would have it. It's not bad. I understand why they did it that way. I wouldn't have done it that way personally. Like, even the turning undead section is like 40 or 50 pages away from the cleric, and I'm like, why not just keep it with the cleric? That's okay though. So that's the biggest downside for me about this game in general is some of the organization in the book. But I've been super chomping at the bit to play this thing because it just is tons of fun.
Extra tabs open. So this one here is for your class.
whispering.
Sorry. Let me turn my mic off. Hang on.
That's okay. You're fine. Oh, speaking of, I'm gonna cough. I should release my mic as well. I'll hold the cough. Hold it.
We're still here. I just gotta get her set up. Be right back.
That's okay. I can keep talking about things after I have a drink of water. Okay, so you're walking down a hallway that is in this establishment. The building itself is made out of wattle and daub, so it is a very old structure. It has been reinforced with large beams, and it is lit by torches in the hallway as you guys walk through it. You can smell the dank rot of the wood around you. It doesn't seem to be a very fit structure for the personage who has escorted you here. He splits you guys off into a number of rooms where there seem to be a number of other characters. So, Hamilcar, you are taken away from your companions that you have entered in with, and are led into a room that contains a half-naked human male who is not tied up, but pushed into a corner. And there sits Osbert. So Osbert, you are sitting in this corner, all dirty and half naked, and a giant, not necessarily slathering, but very, very drooly wolfkin is escorted into your room. He is tall, he is muscular, he is very kind of angry looking. How do you respond?
I don't know why I'm here, so... Hi?
Great. So, where's your gear?
Don't need it.
Okay.
Why am I here?
I don't know, but you stink.
I mean that and the, like... How did I get here?
You don't know, actually.
I don't know.
They haven't told you. You were playing games in the casino, making bets. You were not cheating.
Wow, that doesn't sound like me at all.
Yeah, I know, right? You were actually not cheating for once, testing your legitimate skill.
I mean, there's no need to cheat if you're winning anyway.
Right, if you're that good, you're that good. There's no need to cheat. So you actually are unsure as to why they've kept you back there. They haven't beaten you or anything. They just took your clothes off and left you. Across the way, the not necessarily cells that you guys have been put in, but these rooms are open to the hallway. Across the hallway, you see a female who has been put into a room on her own, and she is wrapped in vegetation of sorts. She still has her clothes, but she looks very one with nature. Are we all still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. So making sure. When things are quiet, I'm like, oh, I don't know if people have dropped off or not. Okay. Hold on, let me...
I'm here. I'm just in a daze because Tim just woke me up.
It's okay. I get it. All right. So, after a fair amount of time of seeming silence, you do hear a number of screams coming from different areas back here. People, shouting things like "No, no, please!" Sorry, Zach keeps sending me messages. And further beatings and things like that. But after a while, they bring you all into a room. The collection of you, just the three of you, however. So you are separated, Hamilcar, from your other companions, and have no idea what has become of them. I remember these are people that you have known for many, many years. You have traveled with them to this town. You weren't just like hired guns. Like, these are your friends that you've had for many a moon. And you were led into this room with these people you don't know.
Sniff, 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 sniff. I'm looking for a way to break out.
Okay, the room that you have entered into is not a very large one. I'd say about a 30 by 30 room. It contains one table. There are no fineries in this room. The table is not exactly junk, but it isn't the best. And behind the table sits the gentleman who cast the silence spell. And he simply looks at you, all of you, are relatively naked states, and says, "I have a job for you."
Does it involve me getting my shirt back?
It involves you getting a shirt back.
Fair enough.
Do all that dungeon crawling for a shirt.
And that is exactly what I want you to do, is to crawl through a dungeon. You have disrupted our services here by one way or another, and instead of having you work or donate with flesh, we have decided to make use of your skills.
Alright, so what's the job?
Here in the Undercity, there are a number of gangs of which I'm sure you are well aware. One of the opposing ones to our little clan here has an item of value. We wish to possess it. 'Tis but a small bauble to most. A golden ball.
Solid?
Solid enough.
Do I look like a retriever to you?
Do I look honest to you?
All of you will be tracked magically. We will know if you have run off with the item. We will know if the item is false. We will know if you are lying. You need to return this bauble to us, or you will all suffer torture and death and all the things that are boring but frightening to normal people such as yourselves.
Great. They're making me go play fetch with a trinket.
What else are dogs good for?
Watch
You
it.
could pet them.
You will be given not the supplies that you have brought with you, but sufficient supplies to complete the objective. However, we will not be giving you anything that was once your own. Take note. So your shirt, as was previously mentioned, will not be given to you. You must find your way in and out, and the things other that you need on your own. And he will snap his fingers, and a guard will come and escort you guys out the back of the casino, not through the front, and leave you. As you guys walk through, a number of the ceiling tiles glow and with an interesting series of colors, and you guys make it out the back. Your skin feels kind of tingly, and you've got kind of an odd feeling about yourself for a while, in which it slowly kind of dissipates and fades. You are free to either accept this mission or deal with whatever consequences come your way. They have given you maps to lead you to the opposing gang's area
Okay.
and their fortress.
Well, let's start looking for some gear.
But you are intentionally left confused and stuffless so that you guys might sort out your way.
Okay.
Well, might as well go for it.
Okay, so you guys are standing in the back of this alleyway, and the undercity of this massive town. It is dark, it's dirty, it's wet, it's cold. You are with a bunch of strangers you've never met. What is the first thing you do?
Not shiver, because I have fur.
No, you're fine.
Well, I'm cold. I put on some clothes. I assume they left me some.
They did not. They left you with gear. You have enough of pantaloons in which to cover your nakedness.
Well, that's good at least.
And the lady is basically clothed. There is no leather armor of any kind or anything like that.
It's fine. All she needs are leaves. The smaller, the better.
What?
Just so you know, I'm an ugly druid.
He's a dog
Take a
man.
bag over your head. It's all the same.
Wow. Good thing you two are married, because dang.
Yep, that's the only way I get to get away with making these comments.
By putting a bag over her head, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so what's the plan of action?
Put a pillowcase around here somewhere. Okay, I want to find a thug and strip him of his armor and his gear.
How do you know they're a thug?
Pick fights with people.
Doesn't that make you the thug?
No, I'm a wolf.
All right, so seriously, though, what's the plan? What are you guys doing?
Well, I honestly
go-
want to figure out a way to recover some gear.
Okay. Are you doing that on your own, or are you proposing it to your companions?
Follow along.
So you just take off?
Yeah, I'm just going to start walking around.
Okay. As you guys stand there in your nakedness, not speaking to each other, the wolfkin begins to move off and down the alleyway in a random direction.
Well, I guess I'll follow the animal. I don't know either of these guys, right?
No, you guys haven't introduced yourselves to each other yet.
I'll tell him when I'm good and ready.
So Nolan, what is your plan?
Get dressed.
Well, he's a
Sir, are
thief,
you-
right?
He is a
Excellent.
thief indeed.
Hey,
You
thief.
don't know that, but he hasn't said anything to you, and nobody has said anything as to what his particular set of skills are. But yes, he is a thief.
I'm Liam Neeson now.
You're Liam Neeson. Nice.
All right. Well, I'm just going to head off in a direction until I run into some loner or a hobo.
Or hobo.
Jeez. You're bad. You're evil. You're horrid.
I'm a wolf.
He's not human. He doesn't care. All right, you will find lots of all of these actually. The street around here is pretty busy since it is kind of near an establishment that is well visited.
Is there like a seedy equipment shop somewhere?
If you want to walk around for a bit, yeah, you can find some stuff.
Okay. So I'm basically just going to look around and I can gather
They
some
tell us where
stuff
to start
together.
looking for this thing.
What was that, Nolan?
They tell us where to start looking for this thing.
They gave us maps.
They give you a map.
Did they?
Yeah, they give you a map to where you should be going and some directions on to what it is. So it's a number of blocks away, several miles from where you're at currently, and it's not a casino like this one is. It is a literal fortress. So you guys are gonna have to figure out how to get into this particular this, seedy area. Figure out if there are guards or not, and what you can do about that, how to get through it, how to get around all that stuff, what kind of gear you're gonna need. That sort of thing. So if you guys are trying to be stealthy quiet, try to find some stuff for that, or anything like that. I'm trying not to give too much to you guys. I know I didn't give anything, but that was kind of the point.
Well, I'm a druid. Maybe I can just find a stick and call it a staff. Oh, I suppose I could. You're right. I could just grow one. What spell would be the spell?
Well, can I see the map?
Yeah, you can take a look at it.
How far away is the entrance?
The main entrance is along a side street that's tucked away into some very close fit buildings. And it is, let's see, 2 miles away.
2 miles away.
Mm. So it's a bit of a walk.
Well, I'm going to get started.
Okay. I mean, there are modes of transportation,
Absolutely. I'm going to try and sneak on one.
Okay, well, are you leaving your compadres and attempting to go alone, or were you making a plan?
My plan is that.
Okay.
Hey, I have clothes and I have a lead on more treasure than I had, so...
Okay, so
you're... Alone anyway.
What?
I'd travel faster alone anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so as you guys reach kind of the end of this alleyway into the street, the human member of the party, the human male member, I'm not actually sure what. Lydia, did you pick a race?
Tim, what am I?
I left that for you to decide.
So that's a no. Okay. She's raceless currently.
This blob of skin
Yeah, it's just this
and leaves.
I guess I could be an elf.
female construct. Okay. So yeah, so the human begins to walk off in a random direction from the rest of you guys.
So what's your plan? Where are you going?
I'm looking for a cart to hide on the back of or something. I mean, they can kind of tell that I'm looking, right? I'm just gonna scout ahead.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you'll be able to see.
There's a solid gold sphere out there.
He said solid enough.
Solid enough. Which means completely solid, in my opinion. That's the only thing solid enough. I'm going to go see if I can find it.
Fair enough. But yeah, you'll find there's a lot of carriages and things that come through here. It's a pretty busy thoroughfare. There are horses, and I'm gonna lose my connection soon. Theoretically, we'll see. But yeah, there's horses that come through. There's carts. There are storefronts so that people are tying up their rides. So you can, if you're keen enough and sneaky enough, you can get away with hijacking somebody's ride. So are you attempting to hop onto the back of a cart and head in that direction, or are you going to try and steal a horse? Or
No, nothing that dramatic.
nothing, because hopping into the back of a stagecoach is, less dramatic.
Not the back of a state, like the back of a wagon of hay or something.
Right. Well, there's lots of things that you could probably pick from. There's deliveries and there's packages and whatnot. So you could find one to sufficiently suit your needs. And you will need to roll. Let's see, that'll be a hide. All right, and that's actually me, apparently, who needs to roll that. So
30%.
Right. All right, so I will roll. Okay, you believe yourself to be well hidden in the back of this. We'll say it's a parcel service. And are you guys attempting to watch him? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'll watch him. I'm going to watch him to see if he gets himself into trouble doing this.
Goodbye. Good luck with your hopes and dreams, everybody.
Okay, you watch this. The two of you watch this cart begin to pull away, and as you're looking after, you do see his feet kind of sticking out amongst the parcels, and he's not as well hidden as he believes himself to be. As he begins bobbing up and down on the back of this cart in the opposite direction of where he was wanting to go.
Okay. Well, I guess we'd better follow him, make sure he doesn't get into trouble. Okay.
The cart's going pretty slow. It has other packages in which to deliver. So if you guys decide you want to run, you can run up and stay kind of, it'll go ahead of you, but you guys can catch up to it after about 15, 20 minutes. You kind of, breathing a bit heavily because running, and you're just in this cold, dank area. And the cart slows down and begins to stop. And Osbert, what do you decide you want to do?
Just gonna chill.
Okay, so the driver gets out of the cart, and you two see him kind of head towards the back with Osbert's feet still sticking out.
That didn't take very long.
I told you it didn't. He walked into a parcel service. It's like hijacking a UPS truck.
I wouldn't do that then. Doesn't make sense. What's the point of that?
You weren't being specific. You said any old one, and I picked one. It's a game. Got to be specific, remember? So what are you guys going to do?
Well, he's your buddy. You to save him?
Yeah, I want to see what happens. If it looks like he needs help, then I guess I'll help him.
You're just going to watch him get caught?
Yeah.
Assuming the guy doesn't see him anyway?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so the guy is going to attempt to see you.
Friend.
And amazingly... yeah. And amazingly, the guy does not see you, actually. He rummages through some parcels, and you actually notice that your feet are sticking out, so eventually you kind of pull them in a little bit more, and hide yourself a little bit better. And he goes off to deliver some parcels, and then he turns his carriage around and starts heading up the opposite side of the street, and begins to deliver some more packages. And since you are, better hidden than you were, you can kind of watch what he's doing and make sure that you're kept from this area. So he begins to kind of head up the street into the direction that you wanted him to head in the first place. So what are the two of you doing instead?
I guess I'll follow behind.
I'm getting out because this is pointless.
Okay, well, we might as well go somewhere else to pick up gear, because this isn't getting us anywhere.
Didn't they give us gear?
They gave
No.
you like thief tools, and they didn't give you any weapons or anything like that. Because why would they do that?
We need to get ourselves some weapons. Otherwise, I got gear.
However, the cart did take you a good mile or so delivering his parcels. So you're about halfway.
Hey, we're halfway there.
Yeah, before you decide to abandon ship and try to see what you can do in a faster way.
Is there any way
You
we
should
could
have saw
maybe...
if any of the parcels looked like weapons.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that. We should...
Well, you were in the cart. What did you see in there?
Are there any weapons in there? Or gear?
I doubt it.
I'll just check anyway.
Well, he's out of the cart now, right?
Get back in, check.
Well,
No, just tell us what you saw while you were in there.
Well, you guys kind of lost them a bit up ahead. You watched the cart kept going, and it was going faster than you guys could run. So, are you guys going to try and catch him still, or?
Yes.
Here, we'll smell him out.
Yeah, he is a dog man. So eventually,
Not hard. He took most of his clothes off. Easier to smell.
Go, pupper.
Yeah. Okay, so Osbert, you are still relatively unclad, and now without the other companions that you were assigned. On. Yeah, no, there was no shirt. I said you had enough pants, and they didn't just give you clothes. You had to go find them.
Do they not want us to succeed? Here's some tools, but you go out in public half naked? What a bunch of
The
jerks.
necessary tools is what he said.
Not being
However,
arrested for public nudity would help.
you're not, dude. You're like in the ghetto. Nobody cares. Like it's a crappy town. There's this. It's a horrible place that you're in. It's like the undercity of Coruscant. You know, like it's dirty. It's gross. What?
I guess I fit in then.
Right. That's what. Like, yeah. I mean, if you want to find clothes and stuff like that, there's plenty of stuff to look around. But the point was to leave you with nothing and to have you be successful, because he's mad at you for whatever reason he is. So he wants his thing, but he also wants you guys to be punished for whatever sin he believes you committed. So he has made things.
Nothing I do is wrong.
Yeah. So he has made things intentionally difficult.
Well, on our way to trying to find the guy, I'm going to try to see if I can find a stick just lying on the ground, or a discarded cloak or something.
Though there is no like tree canopy that would be dropping sticks and things, there are roots and whatnot growing into this far below. So there's just like big gnarly roots and other little side ones that come off, and people have made houses out of them and shops and things, and have use of the area that they can in this poor rundown undercity of darkness. So it smells horrid. It's dank. It's dark. It's damp. Everything's got mushrooms growing on it and stuff, and it's just this crappy area that people don't want to live in, but can't help but stay. So Osbert, you are in the marked the enemy's territory at this point, and you are not looked for. Nobody really seems to notice your presence as you're walking down the street. So what do you intend to do while your companions are not here?
I'm just going to walk towards the entrance.
Okay. So as you walk through the street, you will see that the people are less and less population of people. That's what the word I was going for. It becomes less and less as you walk down the street. However, you do notice that as you're just kind of casually walking along, stumbling along, trying to make yourself look as inconspicuous as possible, you do notice that the gang's enforcers become bigger, and that there are more groups of them. But they still seem to give you little notice as you're kind of walking up to the long, dark entrance to their base, their hideout.
Is that what I'm doing? I'm going into somebody's hideout?
Yeah, well, that was their fortress, yeah.
Boy, how did I miss that?
I don't know, because I've said it a couple of times. The plan was that you were given the job was to infiltrate the enemy gang's fortress, to steal their golden ball, and to make it back alive.
To maybe make it back alive. Because he
To
showed
what?
to maybe make it back alive.
Right.
So, do these enemy gang guys like dress a certain way? How do I notice them?
You were given a description before you left. You know, you were made known, but yes, they have a tattoo, rather, that identifies them on the side of their face. That looks like a scar that has been stitched. So every single one of them has the same mark.
Well, I'm not doing that. How flammable does their headquarters look?
Flammable. It looks pretty darn flammable. I mean, this is a really packed, tight area. I mean, imagine a medieval downtown London, but encased in layers and layers and layers of buildings.
If you'd waited for me, I could have set it on fire for you.
Well, let's follow this guy. See
All
if we
right,
can track
so
him.
you guys have been pursuing your compatriot with earnest haste, and eventually you see him in the distance still, but you see him kind of in front of you, trying to look like a drunken homeless man, just so that the other guys leave them alone. And you do notice that they are there, these gang members in greater frequency, and none of them actually stop you two, because an elf and a wolfkin running around in the Undercity by themselves is fairly suspicious. So they approach you and ask you what you're doing.
Come to join you, dude.
You come to join us? In what way?
Are you guys hiring?
Are we hiring? This isn't... I don't believe you.
I didn't say you had to.
This ain't no way. And he seems just totally blitzed. Osbert, you start to hear a ruckus coming from the area behind you. Turn and notice that your assigned group is being approached by a number of these people, and they have caused a mighty distraction.
It's what I'm good at.
Not even intentional.
It never is. That's the best.
Well, I'll just mosey on over. I'm sure a lot of those other people are starting to look over there.
Okay. You'll notice a few of these guys just stink, like they have been smoking some illicit materials. One of them, especially the guy who seems to be picking at the wolfkin, has this massively dilated eyes, and is just speaking utter nonsense. Like, he's not making any sense whatsoever. Sounds more like he's having a silent conversation with some quarter of his own mind rather than talking to the wolfkin that has followed you here.
Is there anything kind of heavy lying around, like a rock or something?
Yes.
A rock, yeah, I grabbed the rock.
Okay.
How many of them are there?
How many of them are by you?
By them.
By them. There are about 4 that are within striking distance of them. There are a couple that have kind of up the street a ways that are kind of looking on, but not seeming to pay too much attention.
Dang it.
They look like they're hovering around something and have gathered together.
Is that that's the ones around them then?
No, the ones up the street look like they're kind of like sitting over something. Like there's a couple, like three sitting around something, and then there are 4 of them kind of milling around your companions.
Okay, I'll head that way.
Which way?
Towards the my companions.
Okay.
But I'll stay behind.
So
I'll
the
stay
2 of you.
behind the other guys, the bad guys.
Okay. So as the 2 of you are kind of standing there and it's kind of dumbfounded as to what this guy is trying to say to you, you notice that your other human friend, who you've not been introduced to, walking up behind you guys.
Hey, can you understand what this guy's trying to say? Because I'm totally lost.
I pretend like I don't understand. I didn't hear them.
All right. Well, this guy's not making any sense. Okay, let's just go.
I was.
Where are you going?
I was gonna hit him on the back of the head if things got so. I'm just trying to play it casual with a rock.
Play casual.
Walks up to him casually and knocks him across the back of the head with a rock casually.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Okay, so where are the 2 of you going?
Whack.
Tim, or Hamilcard.
What?
You said you were going somewhere. Where were you going?
I'm just gonna turn around and walk back the way I came.
Okay,
Let's see if there's. How close are we to the fortress?
You're not that far. It's a couple hundred feet up the way. Your thief friend was already kind of scoping it out when you guys showed up. These are supposed to be the guards for this place, but they have obviously been taking part in some extra recreational activity on their guard duty. So, what is it you plan on doing?
Are any of them asleep?
I don't think so.
No,
I think there were 4 drugged guys checking us out, and there were 3 guys off to the side.
correct.
Do the 3 guys off to the side look like they're high too, or are they normal?
They look like they might be doing something. I mean, there's loads of bottles being clinked around. There's kind of smoke billowing up from where they're at.
I'll have what he's having.
It's probably not the best idea.
It's a breath weapon, right? I can tolerate breath weapons pretty well.
Some halitosis in his face. You're a dog, man. That's the only breath weapon you're going to need.
Oh my gosh, dude, you had to say that right as I took a drink.
There you go. At least it's not root beer coming out of your nose. Okay. So they kind of stumble around and try and pick a fight, but they seem to be pretty easily knocked down. They're not really on anything that seems to be giving them extra strength or anything. It's just kind of making them kind of loopy and then
and just take them out.
Good. Let's lure them into a darker alleyway somewhere and strip them of their gear.
okay, you can do that actually. If you guys walk into a nearby alleyway where it's nice and dark, they'll just kind of still try and pick a fight, kind of like half-heartedly push you guys, but kind of stumble around while they're doing it.
Good. I'm going to take them out.
All right, Nolan, what are you doing?
Does any of them have a shirt that would fit me?
Took one out about the shirt.
Yes, there are clothes that appear to be relatively your size.
I don't work out, so no one wants to see that. Well, my strength is 9. It's not too bad.
No, it's not bad.
Okay.
But yeah, no, there's
That is the
stuff that you could do.
charisma score.
Oh,
If anybody's got a knife on them,
world's ugliest self.
Well,
So are you guys going to try and attack these men, or like legitimately? What are we doing here?
well, if they're
knock them out?
distracting them and I'm behind them, that's ideal. That's what I'm trying to set up here with the rock.
Okay.
what would it take
Then,
for
yeah,
me to
guys-
take 2 of them and knock their heads together?
I don't know, but if we're going to be doing this, we need to be rolling initiative, is my point.
Okay.
Okay.
Where's the...
All right, so you guys have led them into this back alleyway. You guys are kind of the elf and the wolfkin are kind of backed into this wall area.
Yeah,
So these guys think they've got you kind of cornered, but they're still kind of loopy. And then the human has walked up behind them. So you have 4 men being kind of pincered by the 3 of you.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Where's our dice?
Are we all together now? Okay. So let us roll initiatives. That is a d20 roll, 13.
Is it D20?
Yeah. No, it's not, because it's
I thought it was a D6.
Yeah, you're right. It's a d6.
Oh. Wow.
Sorry, I've been reading the 5th edition book a ton lately.
3.
Hang on, I think it's per side, so like it usually is with the old school games. Initiative. Each round, 1d6 is rolled for initiative for each character or monster. Okay, this roll is adjusted by the character's dex bonus. High numbers act first. Okay, so 1d6 plus your dex.
All right. I roll. My total's 5.
Your total's 5.
My total's 5.
My total is
Okay.
3.
Okay, well, so who's got the higher dex between the 2 of you, Lydia and Tim?
Me.
Tim.
Okay,
Barely.
so Hamilcar goes first. Then Lydia, did you name your character?
Valeria.
Okay.
Valeria.
Tim named my character.
All right, Valeria.
Yeah, it's a nice name. It's the name of a plant. You know that, right?
It's the name of Conan's woman.
Is
All
it?
right, and then it is in the
Oh.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's his promised wife becomes a Valkyrie. Anyway, so Hamilcar, Valeria, Osbert, and then them. I'll just say them. Okay, so you guys are actually all going first. They rolled a 1, so
Yes.
Sweet.
very, very last. Okay, Hamilcar, what are you doing?
Okay. I'm gonna punch one and see if I can knock him out.
Okay.
All right. Attack roll. We need poly dice.
Want me to go find them?
I'll just use my phone. All right. Attack roll. All right. So it's a D20
Mhm.
plus attack bonus, right?
Correct.
So plus 4. So let's see, that's 20, 21. 21.
A 21 will hit him. So what do you don't have a weapon, so are you using your claws to strike?
No, I'm using my
You're
fist.
gonna
I'm
punch
trying
him.
to punch him.
Okay, so yeah, you totally connect with his jaw, and you hear it kind of crack as your fist makes connection.
All right. Is he knocked out?
I don't know how much damage do you do.
Is there subdual damage in this system, or is everything lethal?
Subdual damage. Attacks made with the flat of a blade for non-lethal damage are made at -4, which you would still hit anyway. If a character is reduced to 0 hit points who has taken at least some subduing damage, the character becomes unconscious rather than dying. Character knocked out in this way, but not subsequently killed, will wake up with 1 hit point in 1d4 turns. Brawling. Let's see, normal characters do 1d3 points of subduing damage with a punch.
D3?
Yeah, so it's a half a d6.
No. All right.
And then added whatever strength.
Okay. All right. I gotta. Hold on. Let me see. Hang on. Gotta figure out how I clear this.
Do you need me to roll for you?
No, it's. We can't find our dice, so I'm using an app on my phone.
Right.
All right. So D3, you said?
Yes.
Is that it? Just a D3?
Yeah. Plus your strength modifier.
All right. So 4 total.
Okay. He looks pretty stunned, but he's not knocked out. You definitely ring his bell. Boo. All right, Valeria, it's your turn.
Did I find a club or a staff? I don't remember.
Yes, you did.
Okay, well then I'm gonna whack the nearest guy in the face. You want to roll for that D20?
Okay.
Yeah.
What do? I just shake it?
Yeah, just shake it. Just a little shake is all you need. Okay.
13.
So 13.
Do I have attack bonus?
Yeah, plus 3.
So 16.
Plus your strength, which is plus 1.
Oh. So 17?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 17.
Okay, you will hit him.
Okay, so what do I roll for damage?
Damage roll for you.
For a staff?
Oh, there's. I gotta find that.
They have a staff listed, actually. Polearm. Oh, no, Club Cudgel Walking Staff. There it is. It's a D4.
D4?
Yeah.
Two.
Okay. Plus your strength modifier if you have one.
Oh, okay, so 3.
3.
Okay. Osbert, it's your turn. Are you guys attacking different targets or the same one, by the way?
I'm assuming she's attacking a different one
Yeah.
because I'm trying to punch this guy out.
That's fine.
I am going to attempt to beam the closest one with my rock.
Are you throwing it or smacking him?
Smacking. I
Okay.
only have one rock. I can't afford to lose it.
Okay.
I am attempting to do so sneakily.
Ooh. Well, they're definitely preoccupied. They don't even know you're there, so...
Perfect. Oh, not so good on the roll, though. That is 14.
It's enough
Hooray!
for you to sneak up stealthily behind him and crack on a rock like Golem did to Sam Gamgee in the top of Mount Doom.
Exactly like that. I'm even shirtless, like Golem.
Yes.
So,
Yes, you are.
a lot of parallels here.
Really like Gollum.
I'm not particularly attractive. I think my charisma is 7.
It's better than mine.
Yeah, it's better than that.
You're an
My
ugly
dumb
bird.
stat. Alright, I'm guilty, okay?
The elf has a charisma of 5 as an elf.
Not good.
No,
I only have one stat that's not single digits. It's my dex.
that's a bummer. That's a bummer.
Anyway. So, yeah, so I smack this dude. Hopefully knock him out, right?
I don't know. You've got your what does the thief do? Do they have something fun?
I do double damage from sneak attack.
Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. I think it's a D4 for a rock.
Good. I do 2.
Is that the double?
That is doubled.
Oh, that's so fun. No, you don't knock him out. He gets hit. Oh, oi! And he turns around, pulls out his dagger. And it's their turns. We have 4 of them. 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, that one's okay. Okay, and they will attempt to attack you guys, and I will grab 4 different colored dice so that I do not have to roll this all the time. All right, Hamilcar, what is your current DC?
Well,
I'm AC, not DC. The ACDC.
well, since my armor and everything else was removed, I just have... Is there like a base value?
We are using ascending armor class in this, and you can switch between whichever one you want, which is nice about basic fantasies. They actually include both the ascending and then the Gleithaco, but it's negative armor class. Anyway, we are using positive, which is 10 plus your dexterity modifier.
Oh, that's good. Then 12.
Okay. The guy who you punched in the face tries to return the favor, but his head is still seeing doubles from your punch and whatever it was that he was smoking beforehand, and he misses. However, one of his companions that has drawn a knife does manage to hit you, and you take 4 points of damage from his dagger as he sticks you in the arm with it. Lydia, the guy who you punched in the face with your stick, didn't feel too keen about that and has gone to attack you as well. Now that you have bludgeoned his face, he headbutts you. And he rolls full damage, but it's only a headbutt, so it's a D3, so he does 3 points of damage with his face. And Osbert, the guy who you attack, does try and stab you with the dagger, but you are too deft, too agile in your naked state, because you really want to protect your nudeness, and he misses. Which brings it back to Hamilcar.
Okay. I'm going to attack the knife guy with my claws.
Okie dokie.
So, 20.
12.
12
Plus-
plus 4 is 16, plus 2, 18.
Will definitely rake your claws across his face.
So, how much claw damage do I get for this?
I believe we were rolling with a d6.
Okay, d6 claw.
Hmm.
All right. Hey,
6.
I rolled a 6
Nice.
plus strength, right?
Yes.
Do I add my strength? So that's an 8 total.
Awesome. Okay, so with your previous punch to the face and now your raking claws, he and all the stuff he was taking, he falls down. Ugh. He's not bleeding to death, but he's definitely out. And that makes it Valeria's turn.
Okay. Another mighty swing with my stick.
Okie dokie.
Oh, crap. I ruined your phone. What do I do?
Just click it, unlock it. She rolled a 6.
Plus 3 plus
1,
1, so
9.
no.
10.
10. 10.
Okay, he pulls some drunken master move on you and manages to deftly dodge out of the way of your stick.
I have the worst luck in combat.
Well, you did also get headbutted in the face by this guy, too, so.
You also don't choose combat-oriented characters.
I pick the characters that no one else does.
Yeah, there's a reason why nobody picks those ones. I'm joking.
Well, you're
Druids
all
are pretty
gonna be
awesome.
relying on my healing skills soon, aren't you?
Yeah,
You might need to use them on yourself first.
I know, right? Osbert, that's your turn with your rock.
Okay. Well, he's not surprised. He knows I'm coming now. So 14
Yes,
again.
That will hit. You'll be able to stuff it in his face. Ugh!
Ooh, 4.
Nice.
Non-doubled.
Non-doubled. That's so tragic.
Depressing.
It really is. Okay. All right, you've broken his nose and he's getting blood everywhere, but he's still kind of up and running. That makes it their turn. One of them is now unconscious. Oh. Good thing there aren't really criticals in these games, because I just rolled 2 natural 20s on 2 different dice.
Why don't we have like that?
I don't know. You guys want to see them too? They're pretty. They're pretty CCs. There's the one, and there's the other one. No, that's not it. That's right there. There you go. And I legitimately rolled them. I'm not just like showing you. Like, so yeah. And then the other one was Osbert. What is your armor class naked?
11, I guess. 10 is base, right?
Mm-hmm. Plus your dex.
Yeah, so 11.
Okay. All of you take damage this time. But for whatever reason, none of them have pulled their weapons out, even though you can definitely see them at their sides. And Osbert, you take 1. Hamilcar takes 4. And Valeria takes 2.
How much did I take?
1.
Woohoo!
Yeah. That's it. Your guys' turn again.
All right. I find the next closest guy, and I tear into him with my claws. Now he's got me
Okie dokie.
going.
All right.
Uh, 11.
11 will miss, actually.
Okay.
So he's so distracted by the fall of his leader that he actually bends down at a time to try and tend him just as soon as you try to reach him, but he's like, oh, and then all of a sudden he's gone. Valeria.
Finally.
Dang. I wish that was my roll.
Okay, so that would be a 23 for me.
Oh, yes, that very much actually hits.
Yeah, she rolled a 19 on
Nice.
that die. Okay, do your damage.
That's a D4, right?
6.
Oh, it's a D6.
You're attacking with your staff, right?
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought it was
except
a
it's a
D4
walking
too.
staff. There's a difference. So it's a D4.
Right.
I hate this.
Two.
So, 2.
Damage roll is 2.
Nice. Don't you have strength to add to that?
That was my strength added to that.
Oh, okay.
We rolled a 1 on that die.
Nice. I guess you guys are 5th level characters. That's funny. Okay.
It's our
Osborne, your
group.
turn.
Our group never does anything right.
Yeah, there seems to be this kind of weird thing that like stuff just seems to go awry on a regular basis. I know we'll play 5th edition sometime in the next number of months, and then we'll see how it goes. Like just straight up 5th edition, not Adventures in Middle Earth, which I still absolutely love. But
I'm looking forward to 5th edition.
5th edition's fun. There's cool stuff in there. Anyway, Osbert, your turn with your rock. One, you've done 6 points of damage to this guy.
8. Not gonna happen.
No, an 8 will miss, yes. He blocks your blow with his arm and
Doesn't really need
looks kind of
to.
smug.
Eh,
Yeah. Eh.
We were the ones who were high. The way we keep missing.
Terrible.
that's what I'm going with.
Oh, okay, and all of them rolled really terribly this time. They rolled amazing last time, and nothing is above an 8.
Good.
So your actions in the previous round have caused them to be mildly confused. One of them feels slightly betrayed. Another one just feels kind of lonely and violated. And it starts to weep a little during this combat. And then it's back up to the top at Hamilcar's turn.
Roll.
Alright. This time, I'm going to kill him. Okay. 18.
You'll definitely make contact. Are you using your claws again?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You sink them deep into his shoulder as your fury of missing begins to mount.
And I
6.
rolled a 6 again
Plus,
on that die, plus 2 for strength, so 8 damage.
Nice.
I'm glad you're in the party.
All right, as you bring your claws down from your attack, you sever an artery, and he begins to... And he falls down.
I used that opportunity to let out a howl of rage.
Bad idea. You're going to draw attention to us.
Battle
Okay,
Fury.
Valeria, it's your... Battle Fury. Lydia, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good roll.
That would be 17.
Okay, yeah. 17 will make a connect with your little stick.
I'm just poking them. 4. Freaking finally. Okay,
Nice,
4
that's a good
plus.
roll.
Okay,
4
so
plus
5.
5.
Okay. With that, you'll have bludgeoned him enough that he'll knock it on the head and he'll fall over. That leaves Osbert.
Uh, 9.
No, he continues to give you trouble as he starts bobbing and weaving. Seems to be recovering a bit from his previous jaunt with the bit of pipe. However, since his back is turned, he doesn't see the rest of his compadres hit the ground, so he has no idea he's all alone, fighting with the rest of these people. And he takes a swing at you, but you're still too quick for him, and you not in the face, and manage to deflect his fist as it comes towards your moneymaker. That makes it Hamilcar's turn.
Okay, I'm going to turn for the last guy and go get him.
Okay.
All right.
Standing off with Osbert.
Okay, 22.
Okay, 22 will definitely make contact. As I'm assuming you're attacking with your claws more?
Yep.
Alright.
Nice.
So 7.
7.
Okay. Yeah, you will rend his flesh enough that he will fall down into a not restful sleep. Eternally. You guys have before you clothes and gear.
Yay!
Okay, I'm going to equip myself.
Okay, you will find leather armors enough to fit all of you,
Yes.
if you so wish.
Oh, yeah.
There is. Each of them has a dagger. One of them has a short sword. One has a long sword.
I can't use any of those.
Well, Okay. Human, which one do you want?
He's calling human.
Human.
They also have. Oh, Nolan, are you there?
Yes.
Do what kind of gear do you want? Do you want a dagger? Do you want a long sword? Short sword?
And a short sword and a dagger.
Okay. There are also, if you guys continue searching the bodies, you will find 14 silver pieces and 9 gold pieces.
Hooray! 3 for each of us.
All right.
You will also find a couple of pipes on them and some bags of an herb that is unidentified.
Think we can sell it?
I'm going to hang on to a few of those bags and a few pipes.
He's all. Jeez. Tuck some away.
This stuff doesn't smell half bad.
Yeah. This smells super yummy, actually.
Leather armor add to my armor class.
If we
Oh,
control,
wait, let me get that.
so it's actually gonna be up here. Oh, armor right there. AC 13.
So that's Mason then. 13.
Okay, since it's 11:30 for you guys, I would say let's call it for today, since there are only the 3 of you, and I was planning on more than that, and you're going to need more than that.
Kind of burned it tonight.
Not your fault, dude. It's you guys need more people to run through the fortress, or you're going to get slaughtered. So
That's why I was just going to try and burn it down.
yeah. Well, yeah, that would have been a great idea, except somebody just alerted everybody to your presence with a howl through the night. So you're gonna have to kind of deal with that one.
Wisdom is not my strong suit, okay?
I can hide.
Yeah. Also, an hour and a half of play or 2 hours is enough to really show out how cool basic fantasy is. So hopefully we can play it again. It won't be for a few more months, probably next year, actually, because in October we will be playing the Cthulhu Hack, which is a really awesome short D20 based OSR game. But it's got some really awesome aspects to it. It's way simpler than even this, and the way that the game runs itself. But it's got some cool ways that it handles working with clues and resource management that I actually really like. As you roll for things, there's a possibility that the die you roll actually gets reduced in the amount. So you go from a D12 to a D10 to a D8, D6, and so on and so forth, and you actually run out of stuff when your die is past the D4. So it's really neat the way that it handles things, and I really rather like it. And then in November and December, I had planned on playing the original D6 Star Wars from West End Games. So that was the next 3 months. We're going to be playing that. And then next year, I haven't really planned anything. So we could probably do Basic Fantasy again in January and get a better run on it, and hopefully get some more of our regular players. So join us again for another round of Basic Fantasy in January, and then hopefully we can get some 5th edition in after that. I don't know. We'll see what else we want to play. But thanks for joining us tonight, and for those of you who will watch it later, look forward to a more organized play next time. It's running out of 2 people kind of threw me. I was like, crap. So I have to try to come up with something that was different slightly than what I had planned. But join us again for Basic Fantasy, and hopefully you'll rejoin us for Cthulhu Hack. If you guys want to know a little bit more about some of the other stuff we're doing, check out Game Reviews in 5 minutes or less, where you can see some of the stuff that we'll be using. And we've already done a review on Cthulhu Hack, so check that out if you want. And as always, happy gaming. See you later.